Welcome to the Den, the Dark Entertainment Network. I'm the Gothic Rose, and this is the dark tale of the day. Welcome to the Den, everyone. I'm the Gothic Rose, and I am here to tell my dark tale and dark conspiracy theory about the TikTok ban. I have several issues with the ban itself. It's more about freedom of speech and freedom of expression, but also about how TikTok was just pulled from us unceremoniously last night, January 18th, 2025, long before the ban was set to take place. And that was the choice of one man and one man only, TikTok's CEO, Shou Chew. So stay tuned for this very dark tale. The whole ban to me was suspicious. Like I said, back in 2020, Donald Trump and all of the Republicans wanted TikTok banned. Donald Trump has since changed his mind, citing his popularity on the app, the fact that he thinks it helped him win the election and that his son likes it. But this battle has been raging for 5 years. Now, here's what happened. President Biden issued a 36-hour extension on the ban, and his administration made it clear that the enforcement of this TikTok ban will fall to the incoming Trump administration. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre stated, "The administration, like the rest of the country, has awaited the decision just made by the U.S. Supreme Court in the TikTok matter. Given the sheer fact of timing, this administration recognizes the actions to implement the law simply must fall to the next administration, which takes office on Monday." But this was not good enough. So in a statement from TikTok CEO Shou Chew, he expressed gratitude towards President-elect Donald Trump for his support. This video message, which we can no longer access on TikTok, says, "I want to thank President Trump for his commitment to work with us and find a solution that keeps TikTok available in the United States. This is a strong stand for the First Amendment and against arbitrary censorship." Now, that part I do understand. But Shou also expressed frustration with the Biden administration's lack of clarity regarding the app's future. In this statement, Chew said, "The statements issued today by both the Biden White House and the Department of Justice have failed to provide the necessary clarity and assurance to the service providers that are integral to maintaining TikTok's availability to over 170 million Americans." He emphasized that unless the Biden administration immediately provides a definitive statement assuring non-enforcement, TikTok will be forced to go dark on January 19th. That is not what happened, and we all know it. But of course, in political drama, political theatrics, whatever you want to call what is going on right now, the White House on Saturday called TikTok's statement warning that it will go dark on Sunday unless President Biden steps in a stunt, arguing that the app doesn't have to take action before President-elect Donald Trump is sworn in. And that's what I thought that 36-hour extension was about. So, again, Karine Jean-Pierre says, "We have seen the most recent statement from TikTok. It is a stunt, and we see no reason for TikTok or other companies to take action in the next few days before the Trump administration takes office on Monday." But they took action, and they took action much quicker than any of us thought. Interestingly, in an update right now, breaking news, TikTok today, Sunday, January 19th, 2025, has said it is in the process of restoring service to the U.S. just more than 12 hours after cutting off access to the popular video sharing platform in anticipation of a ban. In agreement with our service providers, TikTok is in the process of restoring service, and TikTok made this statement ironically on X. Oh, the club is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger for those billionaires. And of course, because we can't forget, we thank President Trump, he's not even president yet, he's still president-elect, for providing the necessary clarity and assurance to our service providers that they will face no penalties, providing TikTok to over 170 million Americans and allowing over 7 million small businesses to thrive. It's a strong stand for the First Amendment against arbitrary censorship. We will work with President Trump on long-term solutions that keeps TikTok in the United States. I wonder what changes were made. But it went off early last night, so listen to the rest of this story. And as of now, I'm in New York on the East Coast. My service is still temporarily unavailable on January 19th, 2025, 1:44 p.m. There are several updates from TikTok. So last night, and this was at 8:53 p.m. So I was wrong. It wasn't before 11, it was before 9 p.m. So Saturday, January 18th, 2025, 8:53 p.m. This is my screenshot. Important update from TikTok. We regret that a U.S. law banning TikTok will take effect on January 19th and force us to make our services temporarily unavailable. We're working to restore our service in the U.S. as soon as possible, and we appreciate your support. Please stay tuned. So that was hours before midnight, hours before the 19th, and they literally could have kept everything running until midnight on January 19th, technically. So I check back to see if there's a new message. Saturday, January 18th, 2025, 10:51 p.m. Sorry, TikTok isn't available right now. A law banning TikTok has been enacted in the U.S. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok for now. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. So again, they're deferring to Donald Trump. Okay, he's the one that's going to make the decision. That is what it is. But he could have accepted the 36-hour extension from President Biden. The plot thickens. Sunday, January 19th, 2025, 12:19 p.m. TikTok is temporarily unavailable. We're working hard to resolve this issue. Thank you for your patience. So, Chew had every opportunity to take advantage of Joe Biden's extension of the TikTok ban. Joe Biden himself, Ro Khanna, Ed Markey, and Rand Paul also said, this should not happen. This is our freedom of speech. We should stop this ban. Like I said, 1 million signatures on a petition, and it did nothing. No one is listening to our voices. But Chew had a choice, and he chose to lambaste the Biden administration for deferring it to the Trump administration because it probably is the right thing to do. Any decision that Joe Biden would have made, whether it was good or bad, would have been completely undone by Donald Trump within moments. So I believe that Joe Biden passed it over to Donald Trump to make a smoother transition. But Chew did not like that. TikTok did not like that. So not only did they shut down and leave us with 3 ominous messages telling us they might not be back at all, but they chose to take the freedom of speech away from the 170 million Americans they said they were fighting for. That is what they did. That is what TikTok did. They did not accept the olive branch to let the next administration work this deal out. I knew it was going to go this way. I knew TikTok was going to be banned. I knew the Supreme Court was going to uphold the law. And listening to Trump say, most likely I will reverse the ban, means absolutely nothing. Nothing. I'm just glad that I remembered to go into the money I made from my showcase and take it out of TikTok before it disappeared. I know so many people thought we probably still had Sunday. And I had tried to get as many people that I was friends with on TikTok over here to YouTube and Spotify to follow along. But I think everyone thought there was just a bit more time. So to me, TikTok is not a trustworthy app anymore. They're no longer a trustworthy company because all they've stated for this last year is that they were fighting for us and for our rights. And the one reprieve that they get to help keep operations running, to not disrupt communities and small businesses and everything that goes on and all of the information we're getting, they chose the opposite. And the very ironic part is TikTok's CEO will be warm and cozy in the Capitol Rotunda with the rest of the tech oligarchs while his buddy Trump is sworn in, while he waits to hear the fate of his app. And none of us will be able to support Shu in his efforts because he himself has chosen to black everything out. Ironic, isn't it, that he wants us to somehow thank Donald Trump, but he won't show us what's going on when he's at the White House. It's interesting timing. It feels staged. It feels just very off to me. And personally, I do not believe that TikTok will be coming back. I believe that if there is a 90-day extension, that will be it, because ByteDance had the chance to sell it, had the chance to divest for almost a year, and they chose not to. They chose the court system. And that's exactly why I knew they were going to lose, because the United States wants the algorithm. And the thing is, we've already crippled X, formerly Twitter. We've already crippled Meta. Their stock is dropping. For people to go back to TikTok now, even if it's only for 90 days, well, number one, if it was only for 90 days, what's really the point, except to maybe try to get, more of your crew over to where you are now and create your communities again, recreate them. But what would be the point for only 90 days to try and build more? And what would be the point if it does stick around to trust that it just won't go dark again one day for fear of another argument with the government? And I thought TikTok was for the people. If they were really for the people, in my opinion, it would still be up and running now. So we can cripple TikTok too. I would like to see how many people, if it's up and running again, go back and to what capacity. I'm expecting many followers will be gone. I'm expecting many videos will be gone. I'm expecting strikes. I'm expecting maybe a suspension. I'm expecting a ban. I just don't know what they're doing with our accounts. So I did try to grab as many videos as I could, but it wasn't many. But in my mind, this makes the whole company completely untrustworthy because this was the decision of the CEO and only the CEO. And Laura Loomer, of all people, called out Mark Zuckerberg when he went on Joe Rogan. And she said that they're pretending this is all Biden, but they all have free will to do what they want. So if this is theatrics and Chu just fell in line with the theatrics of let's make this look like it's Joe Biden's fault, we already know he's the one who signed the bill into law because it was placed in between a must-pass humanitarian aid bill. No one even read it. No one's given us a clue as to what the national security is, besides the fact that Chinese may be able to download our information and sell it, except that Meta already did that a long time ago. And if they're so worried about national security, they should have then prosecuted Donald Trump for declassified documents instead of dropped the case. Eileen Cannon. You know, it just make it make sense to me. Make it make sense. It was never about us. It was never about the people with TikTok. It was about the money and the power and to keep the app running. But to be the one who chooses to shut it down when you know that there are Trump supporters and MAGA on TikTok and there are liberals and, whatever you call them, far left, far right, everybody's there. But the thing is, we were starting to talk and we were starting to get along, and I don't think that they liked that. We were starting to realize, why are we fighting with each other? They don't like that. So what did they do? They took it away. And we have no access to our accounts. What they could have asked us to do was to temporarily deactivate our accounts if we choose, so that our content isn't out there in the ether without us being able to control it. This has already happened to me on Facebook and Instagram. I got a new phone a couple of months ago and I downloaded all of my apps and I did a smart switch and every app was fine except for Instagram. That was my business Instagram and I lost access to it. I lost access to the business threads that went with it. But oddly enough, Meta created a brand new Instagram for me with a new name, whole profile and everything. And then they attached my business threads to my private Facebook account that I can't get rid of because I don't have the original password. This is what they're asking me for. So anything that I write on Facebook that's only supposed to be seen by friends and family goes to threads, and I don't have access to get any of this. And it makes me very upset and very nervous. And TikTok has now done the same thing. This is why, to me, they have been proven to be untrustworthy. So if it comes back and I do go back, it will be very limited and it will literally be to promote the Dark Entertainment Network. So with that, I am the Gothic Rose. Thank you for joining me in the den. Update. At the time of this recording, it was reported that TikTok was about to restore service. That was roughly 10 minutes ago. It is now 2:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and TikTok is back. Like I said, I will be building up my podcast, The Dark Entertainment Network, and using TikTok for the fun it is to share all of my stories with you. Thank you so much for joining me on this intense ride. I don't know if we can still breathe, not breathe, but thank you for joining me in the den.